Hey, what is up guys, I'm Neville, and today I'm going to be talking about Nikola Mirotic to the New Orleans Pelicans. And yes, this was a big trade rumor today. They were talking about they were in serious trade talks. They were extremely close. They said it got blown up at the last minute because Pelicans did not want to take the option that Nikola Mirotic had. Nikola Mirotic wasn't signing off to the trade, and all that was happening. So unless the Pelicans take that or add something else, they're probably not going to do it. But there have been reports that the Pelicans and the Bulls are still in serious trade talks right now, so you never know. Even though the first deal fell through, maybe they'll come up with another deal. You never know. And there has been a trade package that has already been presented, so I'm going to say that trade package. So if you don't like that trade package, it's not me that came up with it. It is what the Chicago Bulls and the Pelicans agreed to before it fell through. So without further ado, without me running on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so before I get into anything and why this makes sense for a team to do it, why it makes sense for the Pelicans or the Bulls, I have to get into what the trade package itself is. The trade package was that the New Orleans Pelicans would get Nikola Mirotic, while the Chicago Bulls would get Mirotic and an unprotected first-round pick from the New Orleans Pelicans. And okay, so now I got the trade package out of the way. Let's get into why it makes sense for each team. The first thing I'm going to get into is the Pelicans, and the reason this would make sense is because they would be getting rid of a huge contract in Mirotic, and that dude really has not played good since, well, the Houston days when we signed him to the overpriced contract. And even when he was playing in Houston, it was still an overpriced contract, and he's been on a team just taking up salary room. He really hasn't played at all this year. He hasn't started playing until DeMarcus Cousins went down. Before that, the dude was averaging 2 to 3 minutes a game. He really did not play. He is awful. He probably averaged 1 point a game, 2 rebounds, no assists. Like, it's crazy. That might not be accurate, but it's probably around there. He just really hasn't been a good player. But I mean, he has shown lights when he gets playing time that he can average like 6 points a game. Like, he can be half decent when he gets enough time, but he most of the time is just not that good of a player. He definitely can't be a starting player on a championship team. I just think there is no way in hell. He's worse than Zaza Pachulia. But also, if they got Mirotic, they would be filling in a huge gap left by DeMarcus Cousins, since he just got that Achilles injury, and he would be out for the whole year. So I think that helps him a ton, because I mean, not only does DeMarcus Cousins take that defensive presence away once he got hurt, that big man presence and that front court, but he also take out his three-point shooting. A lot of people don't know that, don't watch him, but he's a great three-point shooter. He probably shoots 38% from the three, and he's a very efficient three-point shooter, especially for a center of his size. So with him out, that hurts us a ton on offense. And while we still had Cousins, we were a top 10 offensive team in the league, so that's going to hurt a ton. But Mirotic, on the other hand, the dude can shoot threes. I mean, he's pretty good on offense. He can grab some rebounds, and he can kind of play defense. And it's not like we'd have to move Mirotic to a center. He could stay power forward, because AD played center before DeMarcus Cousins came to the Pelicans. He was playing center a lot of the time, so I mean, it's not like we can't move AD to center and we'd have 2 power forwards. No, we'd still have a very strong center in AD, probably one of the best players in the league. Then Mirotic, who's been playing like one of the best power forwards in the league. He's been playing like a top 15 power forward in the league this year. But also, why it makes sense is because it might even make Cousins want to come back even more. Because now maybe he'd be like, alright, maybe if I come back, maybe you'll have that dude coming off the bench. That would be huge for us. If he comes off the bench, you have that, and we don't have to play the entire game. That would be a huge draw in for DeMarcus Cousins, I really do think. But now that I got into why it makes sense for the Pelicans, let's get into why it makes sense for the Chicago Bulls. Right now, they would be getting a potential lottery picks, and as young as they are, with Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, Marketing, Valentine, with how young they are, if they were able to get a high or like even a low lottery pick, and then they ended up being like a half decent player, there's no telling how good this team could end up being. I mean, they could be very good once that chemistry develops, if the pick ends up being anything. And then obviously Mirotic, with losing Mirotic in this trade, they would be able to get Ashik and plug him into the backup power forward, which they would be losing, because right now Larry Marketing's starting on the Bulls. That's just because he's a rookie, he's been playing out of his mind. But Mirotic would be starting if it wasn't for that. But Mirotic would be leaving, and that would, like, if they didn't get Ashik, that would just create bad depth for that position. So at least they would be getting more depth in that position for Mirotic leaving. But as who I think would win this trade, I think New Orleans Pelicans would. And it's not like it's just because I'm a Pelicans fan, I made this trade package. No, this was a legit trade package that was going to go through if Pelicans wanted to take in that deal, and there's still a chance it goes through. I think if the Chicago Bulls take this trade, they are retarded, and they definitely lost because they take on a huge contract, and that pick that they give us will probably make the playoffs because right now we're in the 6th seed. So I mean, there's a pretty high chance if we got Mirotic, we'd still make the playoffs. So it's something to trade would make sense for the Bulls, but that's the trade package they were about to agree to. So you never know. Without, you know, that's just something they should do it. I mean, I hope they do it, obviously, but I don't think they should. So, but unfortunately, that's going to be it for this video. So comment below, do you think this trade should happen? Who do you think would win this trade? Do you think this trade package was legit? Like, do you think they'll end up making this trade? Comment all that below. If you like the video, hit the like button. It would mean a lot to me. But if you really like the video, want to help me out, hit the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. I've been killing it lately. Thank y'all so much. We're 2 subscribers away from 140. Jesus Christ, that's almost halfway to 2. We're more than halfway to 200 subscribers. Jesus, I can't thank y'all enough. But anyway, kids, don't think about you either. And never do. We'll talk to you, Drake. Say about goodbye.